Kyle Meredith, look at this guy, Langhorne Slim. He's back.
Hey.
He's got a new record called The Spirit Moves, and it's a really good record. I think you're being told that a lot right now.
It's nice to hear.
Yeah, you good with compliments?
I'm okay with that compliment.
Some people are, like, oh yeah, you don't know how to take a compliment.
Well, I'm trying to learn.
You're trying
to learn right here today with you. Keep them coming.
Yeah, well, The Spirit Moves is great. This day, as we're taping this, it's your birthday too, so I should say happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
With 35?
35 years of age.
How, is that a thing? Do you care? Does like age?
Yeah.
Is that a thing to you? Like, you worried?
I'm really upset. I'm really, really upset right now. When I was a kid, I remember wanting to be one thing, which is older.
Uh-huh. Most kids, I think, want to be older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So age has represented freedom to me and an opportunity to do the things that I want to do. So until it starts to become a debilitating factor, where I'm maybe peeing myself and having a hard time doing certain other things, like talking right now.
Is that 36?
I think that's 35 in like an hour.
Yeah, right.
Which is, I just hit it. I just peed myself and I'm having a hard time speaking. So age has just become pretty shitty.
We know the pull quote for the interview.
Yeah, but until you asked, things were going great.
Yeah, right. Up until that point. I had another friend who had kind of warned me. He said, you will go crazy in your 30s. It's a thing that happens to everybody. Like, you get to a point, and like you hear about, the 45 and 50 as a midlife crisis kind of a thing. But from what I'm told, like, there's a mini one you get in your 30s because it's that.
When?
I don't know.
I guess maybe it's different for different people.
Yeah.
I had crises in my teens, in my 20s, I think around 10 or 12.
So you
I can remember one around a 6. Yeah. Keeps me going, man. Keeps me strong. Bring it on.
You can handle it all. I guess the bigger question is, does it get to, reflections of mortality? Like, when do you hit the age where you have to start like, oh. It's like, me, I got this thing. Like, some people are like, I wouldn't want to live forever. Some people say that I wouldn't want to live forever. I don't get that mentality. I'm like, I'd want to live forever. Yeah. I kind of want to just keep being around.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that, but I want to keep being around until I'm cool with the fact that I'm not going to be around, and I haven't reached that point.
Yeah. At that point, that's when you kind of Highlander the whole thing and just have someone knock you off.
Right.
If that's
what you're into.
This has nothing to do with your album, The Spirit Moves.
Let's keep that up. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that.
No, yeah, I mean, if you're going to live forever, then that's what it's going to have to be. You've got to have someone to take you out, because how are you going to die otherwise? And that's how I feel like it's going to happen. It's a head chop, it's, I don't know how else it would happen. So
that's the only way.
That's the only way.
Clearly. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I kind of bring up that 30s thing, though, because, tying into this record finally, there is the song.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. I've got to do it. I'm sure we're going to go off on tangents again. But there's that line, I'm going through changes. Mm. And that's where I kind of, your microphone has gone limp. Mm-hmm. Man, like this interview is not exciting to you.
It's not exciting to your microphone. I'm thrilled. I'm rock hard. Right? Can I say that here?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'll just hold the mic.
This is going on Salon, so you can cuss all you want to.
Okay.
But there is a song Changes, and when I look at 35, and I know that there's a lot of talk points for this record that you've been going through, sobriety and breakups and everything else. But what else leads in that? What else are we missing when it says I'm going through changes?
I wasn't thinking of any of those things when I wrote the song. I mean, much like one, I don't think walking around in your life, are you always so, I mean, you're aware, but it's in a different way. It's not in such a mental kind of way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So the song, I'm sure, has to do with all of those things, but it was just what's happening in my life. And I was walking around on a beach in California one day, and I was humming a song. And then that song, the melody came back to Nashville with me, and I woke up, and then I said, I'm going through change. And now, because in the thing, and it's true that I have become sober, and people break up, and people fall in love, and people's, it's a tune that you could certainly put all those pieces together, and it would be accurate to do so. But it's, the last record came out 3 years ago. I've been, as we all go through our transitions, as we all go through our journeys in life, certainly going through mine. And that's just one of the songs on the record.
I mean, that's always hard for any artist to explain, like how, unless you actually do sit down and say, I'm going to write a song about, which kind of rarely ever happens.
Which I did, but at that time I said to myself, if I'm ever interviewed under this lighting by a handsome man, I'm going to say, it wasn't that intentional. Yeah.
But
trying to play it cool.
Yeah, that's another thing for an artist, though, because you have an album come out, and I guess there needs to be a story there, if it needs to be or whatever. But people get hung up on it, and suddenly, like, you're having to speak for all of these things that really just happened in your daily life, bit by bit.
The beautiful thing of being an artist and living this way is that you don't need to freeze anything to then be like, this is what I think. A lot of us are rebellious spirits in that way. I don't want to feel like my identity will hopefully be the output of the music and how I perform and that sort of thing. But yeah, to try to freeze it, and that's part of the game of what we do. But it presents challenges to try to freeze it and be like, so I know you've become sober, which is true and is damn important to me in my life. Thank you, brother.
If that's working for you, congratulations.
Well, it is.
I don't know what's in the cup.
No, it is working, and it's very important to me and to my life. But of course, to do that and then to be like, this guy had a breakup a while ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, to kind of freeze that and be like, so this is, but that's what has to happen. I understand. Sure. But yeah, it's
like, what else big happened in the last 3 years that's not being talked about on this record? What Disneyland cruise did you take?
Well, just that one Disneyland cruise that we were on.
All you're allowed on.
That was a beautiful one.
It was.
Just life happens,
yeah.
And you feel that not everything I feel is because, or that you feel because of these big events that happen in your life. I think they shift the energy, they shift your perspective, they shift the way that you're taking in the whole deal. And so that changes if you're a painter or a cook or a musician or whatever, that lens changes how the filter changes. So then the stuff is going to be about some other stuff, I guess. But
I should point out, while you're still saying that word changes, Beyond All the Story, that's a really catchy song. Like, to get that melody, because melodies, they're not always easy. And they're not always easy to find a melody that's going to stick with you. And that's a really catchy song for a simple song that it is, It's a nice one. It's a favorite. I'll take that one.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Thank you.
And I'm only going to really touch on the sobriety, not because I don't respect the hell out of you.
Kiss it.
Rub it. But because I know you just spent a lot of time talking a lot about it. What I'd be curious about, because, 2015, the talk of sobriety in rock and roll versus you wouldn't talk about it in the 70s because it wasn't really a thing. And even the 90s, it's I'm not going to say it's becoming in vogue because that really belittles it in sort of way, but you're kind of seeing this, a pattern for whatever reason, for a type of music that loves to sing about whiskey and late nights, where you've really got people stepping out and saying that. You've got, from Ryan Adams to Jason Isbell and everybody else saying, like, no, we don't need that lifestyle anymore to be able to do this.
For those guys and for myself, I won't talk for those guys. For myself, that's a life that I lived, and I was extreme about that and could sing about it, I suppose. Though I never really sang about being drunk and high. Like, I kind of felt like it wasn't something that I was super proud of, to be honest. It was something that I was kind of like living with. But I think with this kind of music or with these sorts of people, perhaps there's a need to be to feel real with what we're doing, or for me to feel connected in a soulful way for what I'm doing. So I mean, for me to be vulnerable and for me to be open and honest with my real deal brings me a lot of strength. Yeah. And that's something that I've been embracing in the last so many years, because the more that I have revealed in this way, because of this is what I do. I feel very strange most of the time, but through music and through performing, I feel the most myself. Yeah. So if I were to betray that would be crazy. But if I could step into that and be whoever I am at that particular time, that's a very empowering thing. And then it's a really heavy, beautiful thing that connects with people. And I've had some big dudes, they kind of look like the guys that might have kicked my ass when I was in school, with tears in their eyes saying, like, thanks for being open about this stuff.
It.
So
but this music works so well.
It's an amazing, powerful, magical effing thing.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment, I know talking to a lot of folks about that though. When you're coming out of that, when you're coming out of drink to sobriety, and you've got to trust yourself that you can still do your job, your day job, or whatever. Do you remember that moment where you're like, "I've got this," the confidence, I've got it.
It came in different pieces, but it was. There were a few different things when I first did. I mean, after just seeing how my own personal life would be, how I would be within my own skin, that took a little while. But then, of course, for me, it was, am I going to be able to make a record that I'm really proud of, that I feel like is an honest reflection of who I am? And then, who am I? Who am I like this? So that's a process. That's not like one day or one time. It's just like, okay, I got this shit. But I had played some, on my birthday 2 years ago, before I quit it all, I had played some festivals with the band, and they were the first shows that I played sober, maybe ever, in many, many, many years. And they went well. And the band, they didn't know at the time that I hadn't been drinking or anything like that. But I got a lot of love and feedback from them, just like, damn, that was a fun show, man. Great job. And so that made me feel really great. I've got a dear, dear friend in Nashville, one of my oldest friends who's been sober for a long time. And he and I will go to the YMCA and go to the steam room. He will work out. I'll meet him like 5 minutes. I've forgotten that I should do that too. I'll meet him in the steam room and like.
You get to the good part.
I get to the good part. Like we go to the steam room and then hold hands and walk across the street and go to Whole Foods for lunch. So it's very cute. But he and I were talking, and I was telling him that, that I was sort of terrified about it. And he was like, hey, I've known you for a long time. You've slept on my couch in New York where you woke up and in the middle of the night and had a song and went to the guitar. And it's like, that's not something that drugs and alcohol are giving you. Like, you're a freak. Like, you're a creative, strange man that has this thing. And so don't let that, see what that's going to be like with this new skin.
Right.
But don't bail on the need to try something new because of that fear, because songs are swirling around and you've got an ear to hear it. Thank goodness.
I guess there's enough rock history that must be on your mind, because when you look back and you say, oh, they were much better writers in the 70s and the drug years and that stuff when they got so, but
I have said it and I have believed it.
Yeah, to be the artist who has to live through that, to be those guys who have to live through that is different.
Getting back to the rebellious spirit.
Yeah.
I need to prove to myself that I can be better this way. Right. Or if not, then I might as well jump.
And you did. You made a great record.
Thank you.
And again, and tying into that, I guess it's called The Spirit Moves. How was anything about it spiritual? And I guess I should say,
much.
I get the music is like a church, and the stage is in the congregation, but on the more literal side of spirituality, does that play into that and the title and all that?
I think with the changes that I was going through and the sobriety and everything, there was energy around me and flowing through me, things that I don't fully understand or pretend to, that felt very spiritual and even like spirits. Yeah. And so I didn't want to be afraid to call that something and to address that, because I feel it and felt it and continue to feel it deeply. I think when you just live your life a certain way and then you make a shift, whatever that is, people come out of nasty relationships or quit a shitty job or something like that. You get this things change. It's all energy. Right. So things change. When in the last 2 or 3 years, it's been profound. And again, not things that I fully understand, but deeply spiritual. Yeah. Whatever that.
I love the way you explain it. I could agree with all the energy and everything.
Yeah.
But we do talk about, this line of work, how that energy can feel, when you're up there. I mean, I saw you posting a lot online about Newport. Yeah. And just seeing the pictures of Newport, like something happens up there. Yeah. There's some kind of connection beyond.
That was incredible. One of the best times of my life.
Yeah. And to be a folk artist at Newport, there's something else, because not everybody there can, kind of walk away with that. But it's that whole tradition.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of that tradition. And then there just is something that is magical about that festival. Yeah. And so many friends and I almost feel like it must be chaos to put that together. But once you're on, have you been out there?
No, every year I say I need to go.
Next year is the year you should go.
Sounds so cool every time.
It's really special.
Yeah. We have a lot
Really
of friends
special.
that go up there, the
No, I
other
know
bands
it.
and everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Langhorne Slim, I'm proud of you, buddy, and I just
Thanks,
met
man.
you.
Thanks,
It's
man.
so nice.
Nice
The
to
Spirit
talk to you.
Moves. It's great.
Thank you,
for
brother.
coming. Langhorne Slim.
You and I have got our backs against the wall.